When Caitlin Clark does return to the floor, how is she going to help elevate this team even more down the stretch of the season?
Well, she demands so much gravity on the defensive end of the floor. She's constantly seeing multiple players, and she makes the right reads and makes the right plays for our group. So she's going to continue to allow us to stretch the floor. We're going to be able to, I think everybody else will be able to get more higher percentage looks because of what she demands on the defensive end of the floor. And she brings our own defensive versatility because of her length, because of her size. So we'll certainly look different. I think we'll be that much more dangerous on offense in particular.
White's obsession with micromanaging Caitlin Clark's minutes and role has been nothing short of disastrous. While most coaches understand that generational talents thrive when given the freedom to play their natural game, White has kept trying to strap training wheels onto a Ferrari. The results speak for themselves. Clark has already missed more games due to injury in her sophomore season than she did in her entire college career. Even Clark has voiced her frustration. I don't anticipate a certain level. I'm not a huge fan of minutes restrictions. I think they're silly, she said earlier this season when asked about playing time limitations. I told them, I don't want to come back unless I'm 100%. Why would I be out there to play 20 minutes? And yet, here we are, White still treating the league's biggest star like she's made of glass. Ironically, her so-called careful management has only led to Clark suffering more frequent injuries than she did while logging 35-plus minutes per game at Iowa, carrying the Hawkeyes to back-to-back national title games. The recurring soft tissue issues aren't just bad luck. They're the byproduct of Clark being forced out of rhythm and flow her body is accustomed to, stifling both her health and her game.
Right. Stephanie White, do not put Ari and Kelsey and Caitlin on the floor at the same time. Please don't do it. Please don't do it, man. Please. All right? That lineup made no sense at all. All right? Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Stephanie White? All right, now...
When you have the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer, a player who single-handedly revolutionized women's basketball and drew unprecedented attention to the sport, you don't try to force her into a rigid, Connecticut Sun-style slow ball offense. You build everything around her unique talents. But Stephanie White, clinging stubbornly to the same philosophy that made the Sun one of the lowest scoring teams in the WNBA last season, continues to squeeze Caitlin Clark into a role that minimizes her impact. And the numbers don't lie about the damage this approach has already caused. Clark has been limited to just 13 games this season due to a string of soft tissue injuries. And when she has been on the floor, she's been a shadow of the player who electrified college basketball. Her field goal percentage has fallen to 36.7%, while her three-point shooting has plummeted to a troubling 27.9%. On the road, where physical play ramps up, she's managed to hit just 2 of 35 from beyond the arc, a staggering decline for a generational shooter.
Thankfully, she went on ESPN and didn't use the phrase blessing in disguise. Like, I mean this when I say this. Like, I've said this about Stephanie White playing times. I actually think Stephanie White's a hell of a coach. So many people are like, oh, you've done nothing but criticize Stephanie White. I think she's got flaws. I think her rotations are iffy. I think her game plans are good. I think her defense is good. And I think her ability to get a team together is pretty good. I think she likes to play a bit slow, but she is very good. What Stephanie White is really good at is making players and teams play better than they should.
Here we go again. Stephanie White trying to reduce the generational talent that is Caitlin Clark into nothing more than a cog in her carefully guarded system. What White fails to grasp, and what she's consistently failed to grasp all season long, is that Caitlin Clark isn't meant to simply fit into a system. She is a system.
In everything that we do, for us, moving her off the ball a little bit more so she's not getting worn out in game, just handling the ball 94 feet. And then we're challenging her on the defensive end of the floor as well, like being a better defender. The best for us as an opponent, you want to attack a good offensive player by making him play on the defensive end, putting him through the ringer. So being a better defender.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. White went on to reveal that when Clark does return, it won't be in the same role that turned her into one of the most dominant forces in women's basketball history. I think it could be really good for us to get Clark off the ball a little bit more in certain situations. White explained, She added that playing Clark on the wing would not only give her a breather, but also allow the Fever to mix up their looks offensively, a shift that has left many fans questioning the decision.
And we've got Stephanie White praising Caitlin Clark. Did hell freeze over somewhere I don't know about? I don't know. We'll see. But she actually made some very nice comments, I guess, about Caitlin Clark today. She was on with ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, it's day-to-day right now. We're really just putting no timetable on it, going through the rehab process. And then we want to reintegrate her from a strength and conditioning standpoint, and then get her back to basketball activities, White explained. But it was what she said next that truly set off alarm bells for Fever fans, many of whom feel their franchise player has been mishandled all season long.
On the entire league. Remember, she literally added like nearly 3 points a game to her average. She was setting records for assists. Now, that's with Christy Sides having understood the job and just letting Caitlin Clark go wild. That's why I won't buy into the Fever. She's got to greatly alter her game for the Fever to get much better. No, she came back last year. She went scorched earth, and they were beating nearly everybody.
On Monday's appearance on ESPN's NBA Today, Stephanie White delivered an update that left fans more frustrated than reassured. Rather than offering the clear timeline Fever Nation has been waiting for regarding Caitlin Clark's return, White dropped a bombshell that has the fan base in an uproar. Not only did she avoid giving specifics on when Clark would be back, but she also completely shifted the narrative about how the superstar will be utilized once she returns.
In 5 with Caitlin. At the end of the day, no matter how many games they win, they lost more games without Caitlin Clark playing. So everybody argument that Caitlin Clark is the Achilles heel, Caitlin Clark is this and that, your argument is obsolete, bro. They will forever have that notion on there, that blemish on there. Now, if they would have won more games, lost less, then you might have had something. But by them losing 7 damn games without Caitlin Clark playing, lets us know that, they need Caitlin Clark.
Stephanie White's recent interview with ESPN has shaken the basketball world, as her uncertain tone regarding Caitlin Clark's role hints that the situation may be far more serious than fans realize.
I know she wants to be out here on the floor. We want her out here on the floor, but making sure that she's ready is the most important thing. I still don't know how far we are. We're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and go from there.
Stephanie White's recent interview with ESPN has shaken the basketball world, as her uncertain tone regarding Caitlin Clark's role hints that the situation may be far more serious than fans realize.